conservative fatigue is real.
You're not white. They don't like you. I've gotten so many hate comments and replies from black conservatives talking against my talking points of black people deserving rights, thinking that they're doing something because their fan base is nodding and agreeing with them. Newsflash, these people don't like you. These people are racist and they're agreeing with you because you make them feel comfortable.
Why is it, if you ask almost any black conservative why they are conservative, almost unanimously, their first sentence is going to be something to degrade black people. It's going to be something about black people want to be victims, or black people want to hold on to this, or black people don't do that. Why does your first sentence have to be something to disenfranchise you from your blackness?
And the Cartier family might just be the worst case of bootlicking, selling out, full-blown cooning, and conservative tap dancing I've ever seen.
There's got to be one real Can the real please stand up?
I like Nick Fuentes a lot.
Anything Nick has said so far, I mean, hey, that's why he has all this. That's why he's blowing up right now. Because I feel like everybody knows it's the truth.
Just about every video on their channel is pushing black fatigue narratives and designed to make the black community look bad. These black conservative channels like the Hodge twins, Officer Tatum, Anton Daniels, Candace Owens, and the Cartier family all play the exact same role. They use their skin color as a shield, a form of armor to deflect any backlash, while they continuously bash the black community.
They're always right-leaning, typically, but then they just vote left because they're told to.
Everyone knows black men are technically homophobics. They were, man, come get away from me with all that gay.
That's facts.
Black people always do that. But black levels is already there still.
The people out there, if you get offended by that, but then you go and you listen to rap and they talk about killing each other and they really do it, then that you stepping over pennies to pick up, or you stepping over dollars to pick up pennies.
It's all to earn the approval, applause, views, and money from a conservative and white audience, while giving that same audience a free speech pass to attack and bash the black community in their comments. And their justification for doing this is all a lie.
You know, I am prejudiced, but everybody's prejudiced. I wouldn't say I'm anti-black. I'm hard on black people. Yeah, y'all need some criticism.
They preach balance and accountability to the black community. Like they care about covering things with balance and trying to force the black community to take accountability, when in fact they're just pandering to people that hate us. And they're so dumb and blinded by the benefits of grifting and being useful idiots to conservatives that they don't realize or care that their support and defense of somebody like Nick Fuentes spamming the N-word has much deeper and darker implications.
There has to be one real left in America, in this damn country.
But I'm Jew. Welcome to the channel. Please like and share the video. Don't forget to sub. Now, let's get into it.
Thank you for the big super chat. I appreciate it.
Ed World, you sent $30. My YouTube feed is full of black people reacting to your content and agreeing with you. Smiley face emoji. Quite endearing, I must say. The blacks love you. Nick.
Yeah, it's so funny. Because I got called a racist forever, and now my monologue about black people's going viral, and all the black people are reacting to it, and they're all agreeing with it for the most part.
Nick Fuentes is a self-proclaimed racist. He said it several times. People aren't just out here calling him racist for no reason. And all the black people reacting to his video weren't all the black people. It was these black people. The Officer Tatums, Hodge twins, Cartier family, the black conservatives. That is not all black people at all.
I'm not a racist in the true sense of like hating other races for who they are, or what is widely considered to be a racist.
A racist, by definition, is prejudiced against or hates somebody because of the color of their skin or their ethnic background. There aren't shades of racism that are okay.
But I came of age in this politically correct period where if you were white and did not hate yourself and were not constantly tripping over yourself to apologize to or cater to black people, you were called a white supremacist.
The only era he could be talking about was the Obama era, because that's the only time most black people even felt properly represented. And I feel like that's when we started to see the most racism, where white conservatives all of a sudden didn't feel at the top of the food chain, like they were losing some of their power and they had to fight back because all of a sudden minorities had a voice.
And I feel like that was the category that I got boxed into. I was never up here just like preaching hatred. That was never the case. And I always got along with black people. I always got along with Bryson Gray. I got along with the Hodge twins. I got along with Myron, Sneeko, Yay.
All the black people he just named are super anti-black. So when people like Nick Fuentes say I have black friends, those are the friends he's talking about.
I always got along with black people. I had these controversial views, but I believe I was boxed in because, again, you know, from the time that Michael Richards did that comedy routine where he said the N-word 1,000 times, and like a few years ago, It was so politically correct. Again, if you were not a self-hating white person, you're racist. If you went out there and said, look, I'm white, I'm proud to be white, I like white people, and I have nothing to apologize for, they would say, wow, you're a racist piece of shit.
They would.
They say, you're a fucking white male. You have no culture.
The exaggeration that all these guys go through to justify their own racism is always funny. Nobody's called a racist for liking your own race. When you start talking about you want an all-white country or you want to take the country back to when it was great, even though there was no time frame when it was great for every other minority group, then that's where people start to have a problem. When Obama was in office, they called him and the First Lady every racial slur under the sun. They called her a gorilla throughout both terms and still do. For people that were alive and aware throughout the time frame that he was talking about, we know that this is nonsense.
The inverse of that is if you were not tripping over yourself to not offend black people. Like, yes, I have said the N-word on the show. I've uttered that word. I know it's a crime. It's practically a blasphemy. But it's like if you're a white person that doesn't let them control your speech, you're racist. If you're not tripping over yourself to apologize and pander to their feelings about crime or these other topics, you're a bad person.
They're always crying about not being allowed to say the N-word. It's like these white conservatives are just obsessed with black people. Why is Nick Fuentes and other people like him so pressed to say the N-word? What is it about that word? Black people were set on fire, beaten to death, shot, stabbed, and the last thing that they saw or heard was a white person or a mob of white people calling them the N-word with pure hatred. According to studies, around 3,446 black people were lynched in the U.S. between 1882 and 1968. That's not even accounting for slavery, which started in the 1600s. But some research indicates that those numbers are much higher, especially when you factor in the Reconstruction era immediately after the Civil War. And that's just lynching, so it's no joke and not funny. And any black person defending Nick Fuentes like it is funny is trash. The N-word started during slavery. I have no clue when black people adopted the N-word and started saying it, but I have to assume that it started with house slaves saying it against field slaves.
Back during slavery, when black people like me talked to the slaves, they didn't kill him. They'd send some old house girl along behind him to undo what he said. You have to read the history of slavery to understand this. There were two kinds of Negroes. There was that old house Negro and the field Negro. And the house Negro always looked out for his master. The house Negro could afford to do that because he lived better than the field. He ate better, he dressed better, and he lived in a better house. He lived right up next to his master in the attic or the basement. He ate the same food his master ate and wore his same clothes. And he could talk just like his master. Good diction. And he loved his master more than his master loved himself. That's why he didn't want his master hurt. If the master got sick, he'd say, "What's the matter, boss? We sick?" But then you had some field who lived in huts, had nothing to lose. They wore the worst kind of clothes, they ate the worst food, and they caught hell. They felt the sting of the lash. They hated their master. Oh, yes, they did. If the master got sick, they prayed that the master died. And today you still have house Negroes and field.
And there are a lot of black people that feel like that word shouldn't be said at all, period. Which I definitely understand, but a non-black person saying it with the roots that it has steeped in racism shouldn't happen. But for white people to be crying about not being able to say it is just ridiculous.
I was just ahead of the curve. I think black and white people have realized that there was this excess. I think we've all realized, like, hey, Houston, we have a problem. We had this narrative 5 years ago that, like, the police were the new Ku Klux Klan genociding black people by killing them for no reason. And under that assumption, we started to defund the police.
They're nodding their hair like goofballs. There were tons of videos of police killing black people. From George Floyd to Tamir Rice, Sandra Brand, Breonna Taylor, there were a ton of these and a ton more that weren't caught on camera that we know about. So for Nick to try to minimize that as if it wasn't happening or black people were wrong for speaking out about it, and these goofballs nodding their head in agreement is just disingenuous.
Criminals roam free, and now everything's a shithole. And now every night there's a story about an armed robbery, a carjacking, a shooting, a stabbing. We get these videos on TikTok. Never ashamed, they say. And now black and white people are saying, okay, so clearly that was a mistake. Like, clearly George Floyd did not get killed for walking while black. He was part of this epidemic of black sociopathy.
These conservatives will never let that man George Floyd rest in peace. They continue to rewrite his death and reimagine the reasons that he was killed by police. At the end of the day, he died from a knee on the back of his neck, not some fentanyl overdose or any other bullshit that they try to make up.
Of black sociopathy, which does not characterize every black person, but there are a lot of black people that feel...
Bro on the left just keeps laughing like Beavis and Butthead, like Nick Fuentes is a comedian or saying something really funny when he's absolutely not.
And they menace society, or they believe the rules don't apply to them and they commit crimes. And they're emboldened. And I think everybody's coming to recognize that's a big problem for all of us. Every law-abiding, decent person is going to say, yeah, clearly racism was not the issue.
Racism has fundamentally and historically been the issue of how people even end up living in hoods in the first place. From redlining to pay gaps, over police communities, the prison industrial complex, to where we are today.
There are opportunists who think they're not going to get in trouble for breaking the law. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to break the law. And so it is. So anyway,
yeah, that's all facts, 100% facts. I don't know how you could disagree with anything in this clip.
I just disagree multiple times on a factual basis.
I mean, I like the way he broke it down. I completely agree.
Yeah, the opportunity's 100% right. You're 14, you're 13. I have an opportunity to commit a crime, so I'm going to commit a crime.
Not only that, though, you know what I got from that too? A different perspective with the opportunists. What about the white liberals and all that who funded a lot of this stuff that he's talking about and came up off it and made all these organizations and did all these things in the name of helping black people just to get their loyalty and their vote and their money?
You know, it's interesting. White liberals actually empower this type of stuff that he's talking about.
1,000,000%.
Like that's why that's my least favorite type of liberal is the white liberal, because all other group of liberals and this outrage and these ideologies is emboldened when the white liberals start pushing it.
All of these black conservatives just regurgitate conservative talking points without any information or facts to back them up. And when there are facts, they either don't acknowledge them or skew them to try to win an argument.
Whites are more likely to commit crimes against children. Whites are more likely to commit crimes against co-workers. Whites are more likely to commit crimes against individuals who are inside of their families. Now, that is also for FBI.gov, but are you using that as a pretext? Are you using that as a pretext to follow all white people and think that they are child molesters or about to commit a crime against
You're trying to, the FBI statistics are on conviction rates. The FBI statistics.
No, it is not, brother. You need damn.
People can go out and do the research.
Not based on conviction rates.
People can go out and do the research for themselves.
They sure
the
can.
Research that I've seen,
not being honest.
The homicide rates, you could call it the murder or homicide rates, depending on how you want to frame it, are convictions. So
I think the white liberal created the black liberal.
Duh.
Yes. I'm talking about like Al Sharpton, black activist black.
Yes.
Yeah, because they were the ones. It's like they started attacking other white people for not agreeing with their side of things.
With all of these people, you always hear that Republicans were the ones that were for black people and Democrats were against. There was a huge ideological switch between parties in like the 1940s, where Democrats and Republicans basically switched sides on what policies they supported and believed in. From that time on, the Democratic Party did more things to support black people in America than Republicans. There were no attacks or anything other than political disagreements, which happened in a democracy.
They were also canceling people, and think about when the owners of Twitter and Facebook and Google at the time, when they were canceling all the people who spoke against Black Lives Matter, against George Floyd, or any of these things, and the owners of these companies were white liberals.
I don't know what people they're saying were canceled. I don't remember anybody being canceled for talking bad about George Floyd, because they did it when he died and they've been doing it till this day. There are still memes about George Floyd that pop up every day on conservative pages. So I don't know who they're saying was canceled.
On an even simpler level, like if you look at it from a business standpoint, by platforming a black liberal like Al Sharpton, who is built off rage bait and black outrage.
Why do they keep saying Al Sharpton? When was the last time Al Sharpton was even relevant? The last time I remember Al Sharpton was like 10 years ago when he lost a lot of weight and took that selfie in his office or something like that.
If they give him a platform to push things that he knows will pull on the emotions of black people, they can build and profit off the outrage, and they control you. Because if your emotions are controlled, you're controlled. So when they need black people to get upset about something or black people to be on board with these white liberal agendas, they bring in people like Al Sharpton to push outrage and get black people on board.
And it creates a dollar. Yeah. No, but I mean, white liberals didn't create black liberals, because black liberals already created during the civil rights movement.
But that's I don't even think that's
so
different.
So then the white people came,
white
liberals came in and seen an opportunity.
I disagree with that. To say that black liberals were alive during the civil rights, that's completely different. Civil rights was people fighting for rights. I don't think that makes you a liberal, but that you want equal rights.
Bro in the middle feels like the only one with common sense or a little bit of historical knowledge. Black people did not have rights during the civil rights to even align to a party, which was the whole point of marching for the right to vote.
Republicans during that time, I bet.
No, but that's whenever
Democrats was pushing Jim Crow.
That's when
Democrats was pushing Jim Crow. Democrats was racist.
Again, he's right about that. The Democratic Party, particularly in the South, the Southern Democrats were the push behind Jim Crow, and there was a split between Northern Democrats and Southern Democrats when it came to civil rights.
To say that they're black liberals for fighting for rights is completely...
Why was black people still a Democrat then?
Because
that was different. That was during Lyndon B.
Black people became liberal because the white liberals convinced them, we are for you. We're going to help you just to get their vote, just like Lyndon B did. People's fundamentals, if you ask them, where are you on these different topics, they're always right-leaning typically, but then they just vote left because they're told to.
That's false, and I said it before. I'm an independent. There are things I like about Democratic policies. There are things I like about Republican policies. When it comes to voting, however, specifically for the president, you have to choose between two people. And for most people, they choose the person that they more closely identify with and that they think will benefit society and their community more. So for him to make a blanket statement about black people are all conservative, but we vote left because they tell us to, is false.
Well, not all of them.
I would say
LGBTQ.
I would say
black people.
The left is
black men is not with that.
That's the hub of the LGBTQ.
Everyone knows black men are technically homophobics. They would, man, come get away from me with all that gay.
That's facts.
Black people always do that.
The generalizations are crazy, and this is what I mean when I say these black conservatives use their skin color as a shield, because to their audience, they're speaking with authority because they're black, so of course they know black people, and their audience will take whatever they say as gospel. So after this video, they're going to be like, yeah, you didn't know all black people were homophobic? That's what the Cartier family said.
That is not a right, that is not a left-leaning take.
I agree.
You know?
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like, white people saw an opportunity and they just, they took advantage of it with the white liberals.
I think
but black liberals was already there still, though. And white people see an opportunity, and then they say, Al Sharpton, let's get some money off of this. Woo. And then that's, I don't know. But, it's deep.
But he's just yapping, and he doesn't know what he's talking about. Conservatives cater to the right, and mostly their right white community. Liberals basically cater to everybody else, who are good and bad. Of course, it's strategic when it comes to politics.
Anything Nick has said so far, hey, that's why he has all this. That's why he's blowing up right now. Because I feel like everybody knows it's the truth. People are watching the truth right now.
I like Nick Fuentes a lot. I think the fact that he's truly America first is another reason why I truly respect him. I respect anybody that's undyingly loyal to America.
But these are the same people that avidly support an administration that Nick Fuentes has spoken out against for having policies that have not put America first, but have hurt Americans.
That's a big reason why I turned on him. He's supporting the war in Gaza. He's clearly unwilling to restrain Israel. He's in bed with little tech and big tech in Silicon Valley, and J.D. Vance is the nexus for that. He cut the corporate tax rate and won't deport the illegal laborers on behalf of Wall Street.
There's got to be one real Can the real please stand up? There has to be one real left in America, in this damn country. Are there any real niggas left that actually got censored and banned on YouTube? Where's the real niggas?
Conservatives love Nick Fuentes and think he's so base for saying the N-word unapologetically. I have zero tolerance for anybody non-black that says the N-word, because why? What's your point in doing it? What are you hoping to gain from it? Nick Fuentes is doing this for attention, to go viral so people call him base. And then goofballs like the Cartier family laugh, promote it, and say they love Nick so much. So he's basically justified in saying it because he has coons like this that approve of it.
And I'll die just to inspire another generation of them. I'll tell you who's a real Kanye West. Ye is a real nigga. I'm another kid from Chicago like him. I'm a real nigga. And I know that with everything I've done to this point, Notwithstanding whatever happens tomorrow or the next day or any other day, I know there's 1,000 real niggas that are inspired by watching the show. And they may have a lot of people fooled. Maybe in the end of it, they'll have a lot of people fooled. Maybe they'll get you to think I'm a horrible person, whatever. I know there's at least 1,000 real-ass niggas that watch the show, are smart enough to understand what I'm saying. They're going to take this information and they're going to blow up the second Death Star, whether I'm here to see it or not.
Death Star is funny.
That's the game.
That's funny.
I just don't think, hey, the people out there, if you get offended by that, but then you go and you listen to rap and they talk about killing each other and they really do it, then that you stepping over pennies to pick up, or you stepping over dollars to pick up pennies.
That's such a stupid correlation. What does black people rapping have to do with Nick Fuentes, who is a self-admitted racist, is saying the N-word 10, 15 times in the video, and these clowns justifying it and defending it? And it's deeper than that, because it's not only Nick Fuentes that feels justified in saying it. How many white people does he have out there that calls him base, that then say it in the comments, that call black people the N-word now, and they feel justified because Nick Fuentes said it was okay, and the Cartier family said it was okay?
I mean, you would have to be an extreme snowflake to get upset over.
Oh, there's plenty of people who gonna be upset about that, bro. You know them.
I don't know, man. I think he kept it real, man.
He kept it real.
He's real.
Only a real nigga gonna say he kept it real.
Hey, man, he kept it real. Like, he's like, he's undeniably stayed true to his points and
He's
unwavered.
The other thing that you see a lot, especially with these black conservatives, they feel like they and other conservatives can say whatever they want, have whatever opinion they want. And anybody that voices an opinion that disagrees with them is a snowflake or sensitive or soft. When in fact, that's what free speech is. You can say whatever you want, but don't be mad when other people match your energy and disagree with you. And that's what they never get.
I think the more and more I listen to him and the more and more I grow and mature as a man, I think he's right. Like, he just makes a lot of points. Now, do I agree with everything he says? No, but that's naturally. I'm not a person that agrees with everyone, but I think a lot of what he says is undeniably the truth.
Okay, let's just see it, man. I'm just trying to figure out. I feel like Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens are real niggas.
I feel like
Candace Owens.
I feel like Candace is for sure.
For sure.
As far as everything I've ever seen from Candace stands on business always.
How big of a bootlicker do you have to be to call Tucker Carlson a real N-word? And again, this is so bad because they have a platform of 1.6 million subscribers. And all of their videos are either about black fatigue or positioning black people to be bad in some way, shape, or form. This might start a race war. Ultimate black fatigue team slams a cop. White woman cries as black man change her publicly. Black fatigue strikes. Parent tries robbing teacher, then fights cops. Fatigue strikes. Cops ambush after school fight. HBCU debate turns violent. That debate absolutely did not turn violent. I already made a video talking about that with Anton Daniels defending MAGA being on black campuses. That's a conservative lie. Literally, their whole channel is built on black people looking bad. It don't get any more grifting, cooning, bootlicking, sellout than that. And you just can't tell me that this isn't what we're seeing today.
And he loved his master more than his master loved himself. That's why he didn't want his master hurt. If the master got sick, he'd say, "What's the matter, boss? We sick?"
With these conservative channels, with these huge followings, benefiting financially over putting the black community down for their conservative white audiences. But thanks for watching. Y'all let me know what you think about all this in the comments. Also, make sure you check out the next video, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram for behind the scenes and life stuff, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.